And you know what? Fuck saving people and hunting things, family business. That should be the show's new slogan. If the law won't hunt this thing down, I'll kill it myself.
Perfect.
Nothing go wrong there, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what they do. My name is KJ, and you're listening to the Supernatural Opinions podcast, where some things in this world are supernatural. My pronouns are she, they, and this is the podcast where I talk to my fellow Supernatural fans about Supernatural, and we share our Supernatural opinions. Today we're recapping Season 2, Episode 12, Nightshifter, which originally aired on January 25th, 2007, and here help me are my guests of the week, Meredith, Francis, and Nick. Meredith, remind everyone who you are.
Hello, I am Meredith, my pronouns are she and her, and school is hard.
School is hard.
Put that on a t-shirt.
But I'm sure you're rocking it.
Thank you.
And Francis, remind everyone who you are.
Hey, I'm Francis. I hope you recognize me by now. I was just here last week, and I'm super happy to be back for another episode.
Yeah, we had a good time last week. So we're glad you're back. And Nick, this is your first time with us, so if you want to tell the listeners a little bit about yourself and how long you've been watching Supernatural for, that would be great.
Hello, I'm Nick. Been watching Supernatural for about since 2011 full time.
Wow.
I work at a baseball park, so.
That's cool.
And I go to college, so that's always a struggle.
Do you want to give your pronouns as well?
He, him.
Awesome. This week's episode will contain spoilers for this episode of Supernatural and may reference previous episodes, but will not contain spoilers for later episodes of Supernatural. This week's episode is titled Nightshifter, and I had to go to fandom.com and the ever helpful Supernatural wiki to find out what this episode was referencing because I had no idea. And Google wasn't super helpful at first.
Nice.
But fandom.com and the Supernatural wiki told me that this episode gets its name from the 1982 film Nightshift, the plot of which doesn't seem to be relevant, although apparently there was a lot of references to a particular episode of The X-Files in this one, specifically an episode called Folie à Deux.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there was a big bug in that one. Well, that's the one that the actor who played Jerry was in.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Poor Jerry.
Yeah, a giant bug. Yep. That's all I got to say.
But yeah, that's what I learned there. I think they just picked the name because it sounds cool and it had the word shift in it. But this week's episode was written by Ben Edlund and directed by Phil Segresha. Both are longtime Supernatural creators. We last saw Ben's work in Season 2, Episode 5, Simon Said. And I don't think I told you about any of the other things that Ben has done because I was so excited that Ben was here that I think I literally just forgot to mention any of the other things that he's done.
Yes, tell us. Why should we care about this man?
Yeah.
Yes.
Here's just like a few of the things. He created a video game and its relevant TV series, The Tick, and it's 2 reboots.
Oh,
it got rebooted twice. Also 5 episodes of Angel, the Buffy spinoff, which I've been watching. I've been watching Buffy and Angel. I'm on Season 2 of Angel and Season 5 of Buffy. 2 episodes of Gotham and 4 of Eric Kripke's other show, Revolution, as well as a bunch of other stuff, but those were like the highlights. And Phil Segresha, we also saw last directing in Season 2, Episode 2, Everybody Loves a Clown, and I think he did an amazing job on this episode in particular. I think the direction in this one was really good.
I would agree with that.
He's always good, but I was like, we don't really need to talk about everything he did every time, but I just wanted to say he did a particularly good job this time.
He still got it, folks.
Still going strong.
Yeah, so let's get right into the recap. We open with news coverage 3 hours into a standoff at the Milwaukee City Bank, where I learned that I don't know how to spell Milwaukee, even though it was on the screen.
I know, it's like, how do you spell Milwaukee?
It's so hard. I'm an American and I don't even know.
I'm like, I know how to say Milwaukee. I know it's in Wisconsin. That's it.
I didn't know it was in Wisconsin, so you're ahead of me.
I always Google where they are.
Good idea.
Dean is letting a guy out of the bank, and it's immediately clear that he is, at least, if not running, at least participating in this hostage situation, and it's time to rewind to a day ago.
And at this moment, the audience is like, what did you do now?
This was fun. It was a kind of a fun reference to the original, like, Shapeshifter episode in Season 1.
Right.
Because that was another one where we started at the crime and we went back a day and we're like, Dean, what is happening? What are you doing?
You've got some explaining to do.
Go
it's
ahead.
always interesting with what they do with Supernatural. Like, then and now, it's like they always reference what's before and what's going to happen with the future, so...
Yeah, I find sometimes, like, the then and now part of
Okay,
like, episode sometimes they give too much away.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really finding that because I have a friend who's watching for like the first time still, and like sometimes like if I'm controlling the remote, I will skip ahead to the now part because I don't want her to see like a character is back or something.
Yeah.
I know it's to like remind us because sometimes we don't see people for like a few seasons and you forget about plot details that happened like a while ago, but like I don't want to ruin
so
it.
Many times where a character has returned on a show and they don't really tell you who that character is, and I'm just stuck there like, who the hell is this person and why did you know them?
So yeah, it is helpful for something like that, but
I do like episodes on TV shows where they begin with like kind of apart from the climax. So we have like something to look forward to. It's really fun.
Yeah, Dean running a bank heist feels very high stakes.
Really?
So when we go back our 24 hours or whatever, Dean is flirting with a woman that he's supposed to be interviewing about some sort of crime, we can only assume. She's wearing a very confusing blouse. I'm like, I don't know what I know the 2000s fashion was a little bit weird, but this blouse was a lot.
What makes it confusing?
It had some like tassels or something. I can't I didn't write what was weird about it. I just wrote that it didn't make sense.
Okay. I'll have to check it out later.
I'm also not super. She's really flirting with Dean.
Yeah, that's what I was noticing. Like,
and I'm not into it.
She was like asking, "What's it like to be an FBI agent, guys?" Huh?
Yeah. She was really hyping up the flirt. Her name is Franny. She's very cute. I kind of get why the flirting was happening. I just was like, we're supposed to be working here. I assume.
Like Sam's being all serious, and then he's being flirty. So
yeah, Sam is being all serious. He also undid all of the good hair will that he garnered with me last week. Last week I was like, wow, this is the best Sam's ever looked. Immediately this week I was like, Sam, no. The hair is not it.
Sometimes we have bad days.
He's in his like Fed suit and he's got his hair like kind of slicked back, and I'm like, just cut it if you're gonna wear it like this.
People with long hair should not slick it back.
It's just a lot.
It feels like a wet anime character.
It's not like greasy slicked back. Like it could definitely be more slicked back. It's just like flattened down a lot. And Sam is interviewing some other guy about an employee named Helena who robbed her employer and shot one of her colleagues, even though she was a loyal employee, loved by all, and she then died immediately after that, seemingly by suicide, after, the robbery that she committed.
That sucks.
Yeah, it didn't even enjoy the diamonds and jewelry that she stole. Dean is super annoyed because the cops have all of the security footage already and they don't. And Sam's like, they're just doing their jobs. And Dean's like, no, they're doing our job, only they don't know it, so they suck at it. This is how I feel every time these two morons walk through a crime scene like they own the place and contaminate everything inside.
Yeah, they don't wear gloves, they don't put in bags.
Yeah, they're just stepping on everything, tracking
I'll just put the murder weapon in my pocket.
They're tracking street dirt from the street into the crime scene.
Like, eventually you think they would learn to be better.
Yeah, wear some gloves or some of those little, like, shoe booties that you wear.
Savages.
Like, they're just ruining crime scenes. Like, what if it's ever not something supernatural, but they've already been in the crime scene? Well, now they've just screwed up the case for the actual police.
I'm surprised it took this long for the FBI to get interested in.
That's what I was about to say.
The FBI have been previously interested in them, but
wasn't that like in 2-7 where they were in trouble too?
They did make the FBI's wanted list after season 2, episode 7, and Dean was previously accused of being a serial killer. We'll get there. We will get there. It's relevant later in this episode.
Oh yes.
There's apparently also been a bank robbery in this town by another loyal employee, but the security guard Ronald Resnick survived. The jewelry store or whatever, the security guard was the one that got shot. But the security guard for this bank, Ronald Resnick, survived, so they go visit him. And Ronald has a John Winchester-style conspiracy murder board.
I just want to point out it has a Cyberman from Doctor Who on it.
Yes, it does. Rod's gotten pretty close to the truth, except instead of shapeshifter, he's landed on Mandroid, part man, part robot.
He was so close, Sam.
I love
so
him.
Close.
He wants to be on the X-Files so bad.
Oh my god,
He is the
yes.
cutest baby hunter, I swear.
I think Sam Winchester got this man killed, if I'm being honest.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they talk to Ronald. He's really got most of the, like, stuff down with the shape, like, not shapeshifter, but kind of shapeshiftery stuff. He's got that whole MO, like, figured out.
Like going underground and...
Yeah. Ron says, well, if the law won't hunt this thing down, I'll kill it myself. And you know what? Fuck saving people and hunting things, family business. That should be the show's new slogan. If the law won't hunt this thing down, I'll kill it myself.
Perfect.
Nothing go wrong there, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, that's basically what they do.
It's just, another way of restating the plot.
Dean is somewhat impressed with Ronald's work, and Sam stands up and he says he's about to tell Ron the truth, and Sam is usually team tell people the actual truth, so Dean does a full double take when Sam immediately goes full method on his FBI costume and character and insists it's just people doing all of this. Ron gets really upset and kicks them out, but Sam insists on remanding the tapes on his way out. Oh my god, we should have seen more of that.
That was hilarious when he...
Want to know how that happened. Like, how did you convince him to do that?
Dean's impression later was very good, but I would have liked to have seen it. I kind of am picturing that season 7 episode where Sam is like going all bad cop on a whole workplace. He's taking each employee into the back room and like going full bad cop FBI on them, and he's like really overdoing it.
That was one of the coolest things he's ever done.
It really was.
But we don't see it because the next thing we see is Dean standing in front of their own nearly identical murder conspiracy board at their motel room. And Dean says, Ron's work was pretty good and he kind of liked him. People think they're crazy all the time. And it's really just a matter of perspective. And Sam's like, well, Ron's just a guy. He's not even a hunter. The less he knows, the better for his own safety. And I think, Sam, you just made a mistake and it's going to cost Ron his life.
Yes.
Okay, Ron didn't have to make the decisions he made either.
Okay, yeah, no, he definitely didn't.
They were both being idiots.
For sure, but I feel like if Sam had just been like, we're hunters, monsters are out there, we're gonna get this thing, Ron probably wouldn't have made those decisions.
Yeah, but also they couldn't have known. They couldn't have known he would be
absolutely
a
not.
idiot.
Yeah, they did not know that Ron was serious when he said, I'll do it myself.
I love the guy dearly, but that was a dumb decision.
Ron said fuck around and find out, and they fucked around.
And then he found out.
Dean says he hates shapeshifters, and Sam's like, do you think I don't hate shapeshifters? And Sam's like, well, one of them framed me for murder, so I think that we could just agree that my thing is more relevant. And I agree.
Yeah.
Like, this is the exact same thing as when Sam got mad at Dean, because Dean was like, we gotta kill the thing that killed Mom, and Sam's like, well, this thing killed my girlfriend 6 months ago, and you were literally a child when our mom died. It's not the same. Like, that is, Sam, that is exactly what's happening here. Just have some empathy, please.
It's my turn to have
empathy, Sam.
Dean says, given that shifters generally live in the sewers, which I'm just saying if I could look like anybody I wanted, I'm putting on the face of somebody rich and famous, and I'm living in a cool place, not the sewer, but anyway.
Yes.
That's just
like,
me.
Why?
There's one more bank on the suspected sewer line, so they're gonna go there next and, like, look around. Sam and Dean have procured a new set of jackets, and these patches say Security Serve Guard Service, and they're both wearing 2 shirts underneath these jackets, so it's like t-shirt, plaid shirt, jacket, and like someone in the costume department, think of these poor men. Like, no wonder Sam looks sweaty half the time. Jared's dying.
The person in the costume department is like a lumberjack Puritan.
This does end up being good for them later, but they say that they're there to do routine maintenance on the security system. There's some sort of issue that they lie about so that they can watch the employees for the camera flare that indicates a shifter. And Sam is really starting to get impatient on all of this, while Dean commits a sexual assault on an unsuspecting bank employee.
Dang!
Yay.
She doesn't know about it, but he like zooms in on her rear, which is disgusting. She doesn't know that
it's
he's
not really
in there.
assault, it's more like harassment.
It's I don't know. It's icky either way. He could just not.
He could not, but, you know, it's a lot of law. We gotta be accurate.
But then they finally see that the bank manager is the shifter, but it's too late because Ronald has already arrived and he's locking everyone into the bank, and he's got a very large gun. He was not kidding.
Their faces when he comes in.
Oh, yeah.
What the hell?
Really?
Shockingly, both the Winchesters are basically unarmed because they were going into the bank.
How long have you had that gun, Ronald?
I don't know, and like...
Why?
This is why we can't just be letting anybody buy guns. Like, that thing is massive.
What is wrong with you.
The bank only has one exit, and I'm like, I don't know, that seems like a fire hazard to me, but okay.
Yeah.
I feel like buildings should have more than one exit.
Yeah, I think that's just poor writing.
Yeah, they usually do. Banks have more than one exit, so I don't know what happened there.
Yeah.
I mean, most
they at least
buildings...
have two. At least have two.
Yeah, most buildings I feel like are supposed to have two exits in case of a fire.
Unless it's like a shack in the woods or something.
Yeah, but Ronald is not happy to see that they're there and accuses them of working for the Men of Black or the Mandroid. And he tells Sam he doesn't like Sam, and Sam literally shrugs and says, fair enough, which is usually also my response when someone is like online arguing with my take on something with the show, or
okay,
they don't like me. I'm like, fair enough, okay, you're entitled to that opinion.